Hello, welcome to Late Night Creations. I'm Kendra and I'm really glad you're here. Today I have some really pretty projects to share with you. I love them. They're so my style, and let's just stop talking and get started. I had this wood left over from a project out in the shop, and so I cut it down to 3 equal lengths. But if you don't have some wood, I also had picked up this decor piece at Dollar Tree, and you could easily cut it in 3 equal pieces as well, and it would work. And so I'm going to paint it with white chalk paint. It's actually called Linen by Rust-Oleum. I'm going to paint all 3 pieces, front, sides, ends, back, front, all the way around in the knot holes. I'm going to dry it with my heat tool so that I can lay it down and paint the other side and just paint all the sides. And I'm pretty sure I just did 1 coat. Covered really well. Then I didn't show you that I glued it together with some wood glue, and then I stapled it with my staple gun for extra security. Stability. How about that word? And then I picked up these rub-on transfers from Amazon. I think they're so pretty, and I'm just going to cut out what I want to rub on. And if you figure how many little pieces you can get out of these, or big pieces you can get, they're really pretty cost effective. You can pick these up at, not these, but you can pick some up at Dollar Tree, but you don't get very many on a sheet. And so really, all in all, it probably comes out about the same price. So I'm just going to try to figure out what I want on there. I put a little bit of that lace and a little bit of flowers. I wanted a butterfly on there. I had seen this, I'm copying this from this decor piece that was given to my granddaughter a few weeks ago at a special ceremony she had at church. And someone gave this to her as a gift. And I loved it, so I took a picture of it and then I'm recreating it. And I think it's just beautiful. I love the saying, and her flowers didn't look quite like this, but, you know, I'm making it my own. And so I loved this little butterfly, so just rubbing gently and pulling it off. Now, while I'm putting my words on, I cut these words out and made these decals with my Cricut. And, you know, I got to have my handy-dandy tweezers. And I'm going to just use my Frisco Craft transfer tape to put it on with. And you've seen me do this a million times, so I'm not going to show you every little step of the way that I do this. But I did have to be very careful because you cannot put this over those rub-on transfers or it pulls it off. And I was trying to be very careful with the word kindness, because those little swooshes at the beginning and the end, I wanted them to go over, but I accidentally let it. See, I'm trying to keep it off of there because I know that's going to happen. But, so I'm going to put a little piece of that plastic down there so it doesn't get on there on this end, right? So, protecting that. And somehow on this end, I do not know what possessed me to push that down there, but I don't know. I did it, and guess what? Yep, see, that flower pulled right up. I knew it was going to do that. I did not know why I did that. So I'm just taking my tweezers and putting the letters down. But I'm going to fix it. You know, that's what we do in this crafting business. We just fix our happy little, sometimes they're happy accidents too, right? So this one is what I should have done on the other side too. I don't know. I mean, I already knew it was going to do it because I made adjustments on the other side. So I took another little flower and just rubbed it up there. Guess what? You can't even tell. If you didn't know, you wouldn't be able to tell. So last words, made sure that they fit in there. Not pulling off any of my rub-on transfers. Burnish it down. It's beautiful. A couple of Christmases ago, I ordered a whole case of these little mason jars because I wanted some and I couldn't find them anywhere. So I just covered up that glittery part instead of sanding it, and then I sanded the back part so it's all nice and smooth, and I chose one that had a white edge, so I just put a easy little coat of white on there, covered it really good. And this actually covered really good. I think I'm pretty sure I did 2 coats of white chalk paint. Maybe I only did 1. It covered really good because I sanded it and it got really smooth. And so, yeah, it covered really good. I'm going to take a little bit of Aged Gray by Rust-Oleum and make some shadows so that it kind of looks realistic. I mean, I don't know why we want it to really look realistic, but it just gives it some dimension. I still have the white paint in my brush. I didn't wash it out, so it will help it to blend a little bit. And then I'm glad that I did that on the top of the jar, but I was going to put some fabric up there, but I didn't. So I made a decal. And you could use stickers. I'm showing you that there's all kinds of stickers that you can buy at Hobby Lobby or Dollar Tree. But I did this kindness is homemade, you know, homemade, canning in a jar. I thought it was a cute little saying. And so I'm putting it up a little high because on the right over there you can see those flowers. I'm going to put them on the bottom. So this little decal went on nice and easy. Came off really good. I'm going to use that transfer tape again because you can use it more than once. And I'm going to take my t-shirt and smooth it down. Now, I did this trick my first time ever I did it, and it came out perfect. I taped my tissue paper down to my copy paper and printed this. And I got this image off of Canva, and it turned out way more pink than I intended. Way brighter pink than I intended. It still turned out really pretty. I ended up cutting the top part of the flowers off because it was bigger or taller than I wanted it to be. The width was fine. So I just cut the top part of that flower off, customized it, made it fit how I wanted it to. And I think it's really pretty, but by the time I Mod Podged that on there, it got really bright, which is fine. It just wasn't exactly what I had in mind. But I'm just going to put some Mod Podge down on my jar, on my piece of wood, and then I'm going to put that tissue paper down. Now, that tissue paper is super thin, and so you want to be super careful that you don't rip it. So I'm going to pat it very gently, but I'm going to use this plastic method, and it works great with a little brayer tool. And you could just use your fingers if you don't have a brayer tool. And then I'm just going kind of around the edges with a little bit of Mod Podge to kind of seal those edges down. And then very, very lightly, with a very light hand, I'm putting some Mod Podge over the top of that. And I had kind of let it dry a little bit. Mod Podge dries super fast anyway. And then I just did a light coat over the whole thing so that it, you know, just the bottom didn't have that look. Now, I wanted this pink gingham fabric on top. I thought that would be so cute, but it didn't match those pink flowers. They were just too different. So I just decided to wrap some twine around there, and because I had painted the top of the jar, it almost looked like those grooves that are actually in the jar at the top of a mason jar. So I decided I would just wrap some twine around it and call it a day, and it turned out super cute. So I just wrapped it around a few times, glued it, wrapped it, glued it, used my little silicone finger so I don't burn myself, because I do burn myself plenty of times without it. And then I just made a little twine bow, glued it on there, stuck a little piece of greenery, thought I was going to put a little piece of some white in there, but didn't like it. Stuck the greenery in, stuck the bow on. Yes, I like it. I thought it turned out really cute. I just wish see, as it dried, see how much brighter the flowers got? I don't really know why it did that, but if you know why in the comments, if that's happened to you before, let me know. Maybe I should pick a design that has a more pastel color to it. That was my first time doing that, but I think it turned out so pretty. Dollar Tree find. I'm a sucker for a house, and I just took this little sand dollar off. It was very rubbery and sticky, very rubbery, And then I thought, oh, it was loose on the edge. I'll just rip all the paper off. Well, guess what? It didn't all come off. And I didn't really want to take it all off. And I tried to take the little wooden house top off, roof off, but it didn't want to come off. So I just sanded that and got it smooth enough to paint. And it worked out just fine. Give it some white chalk paint. And it turned out really good. It was easy to paint. I didn't even need to tape it off. I just made sure that I didn't have too much paint on my brush. And yeah, it was easy to paint. Even though, well, I did sand that paper smooth. And I'm going to have other things on the front of it, so it didn't even need to be, a little texture. Even if there is a little texture on there, it would be okay. And then I painted the back because, we like the back to be finished. So I cut this stencil out on my Cricut. Now there are a lot of those greenery, laurel looking rub-on transfers that I see other DIYers get from Dollar Tree. My Dollar Tree does not have those. So those would be really pretty to put on here. You can get stencils. I've seen stencils at Hobby Lobby that are these laurel vines. So I think that you could do that if you don't have a Cricut. But I just designed that and did that. So I'm going to take these two greens. One is moss and one is celery, both by Waverly. And I'm going to use those with some makeup sponges. Bargain Bethany, I saw her do that when I very first started watching her a long, long time ago. And now she has 1 million subscribers. Oh, those are goals right there. But she's amazing and she's put in a lot of hard work to get there. And so, I just started this channel, so we'll get there. We'll get there. You guys are going to help me. So I'm going to do just some of the bottom of that with the dark green. Cut off the tip of that. Just use the same sponge. Just cut off the part that had the dark green on it. And dip in the light green and just blend it. Just kind of going over it and on top of it and just blend it. Kind of like a little bit of an ombre on each little branch. And it turns out so pretty. I didn't show you that I put masking tape around that so that I wouldn't get green paint all over my beautiful white. I did down there at the bottom a little bit, but I just went back with some white and touched it up. I'm not sure if I did that with the paint or sometimes I do it with my hands when I'm peeling the stencil off. Okay, so now I made this little Be Kind decal because I love the scripture, be kind. Ephesians 4:32, it says, be kind to one another, just like Christ has been kind to us. I'm paraphrasing a little bit there. I've never been one to be able to memorize scripture word for word, unless it's, the ones we hear all the time, like John 3:16 or something like that. But I do know that it said that's what this one says. So I just used the words be kind because that's kind of the theme of this video. So be kind. And then I'm going to put a little bow up top. I'm sorry I'm a little bit out of frame here. I will get back in frame for you. I'm using just this pretty kind of muted rosy, peachy, I don't know what color that even is, with some of this really pretty soft. It's not like the burlap ribbon. It's a soft ribbon. I love it. And I'm going to use it later in this video, and I didn't have enough, and I wish I could find some more, but I haven't been able to find it at my Dollar Tree again. But I hope they get it back because I really love it. I'm a shabby chic kind of girl, and I think that this ribbon lends very well to the shabby chic. I'm kind of not really like old-timey shabby chic. I'm more of a modern shabby chic. So I love this. I love this look right here. This is one of my favorite pieces. Surprise, surprise, y'all. We're going to make a garland. So I'm taking this Celery by Waverly and I'm going to paint 2 of these little squares. I got these in a little pack, oh man, a year or 2 ago after a season. I think it may have been after Christmas. And there were different shapes. And now I have this pinky coral color I got at Michael's it was a large pack of paints. A multi-pack, and I just put a little white in it to make it a little softer. I covered them in Mod Podge. I didn't show you that. You know how to paint Mod Podge on. because I want to write on it with a Sharpie and I didn't want it to bleed. So now I'm just drawing these squares, they're not circles, they're squares, out on a piece of paper so I can practice the placement of my words. Now Galatians 5:22 through 23 tells us what the fruit of the Spirit is. And I memorized those because of a song. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. If any kids that were ever in my Sunday school class, I taught them that song, and it's a cute little song. And I will not sing it for you because that would make you cry, because you would be like, stop singing, please. But it's a cute, cute song. And maybe if I can find a video to it, I'll link that song in the description box below, because it's a really cute, fun song to help you learn the fruit of the Spirit. And we all need more of the fruit of the Spirit in our life. So I'm going to put this, I have this on my piano, and I'm going to leave it there because it's a good reminder that we need this. Now, I wanted to do, peach green, and I just picked it up, but I did do them that way. They don't have to be in order. They don't have to be in any kind of order. Right now, I'm realizing that I did that. But it's okay. Yeah, they don't have to be in any kind of order. So I think they turned out really cute. I have decent handwriting. It's not always real consistent, but I like handwritten decor pieces. So we don't always have to have decals made with a Cricut or use stickers. Now I'm going to take this, I don't know if this is considered twine, baker's twine I think it's called. And I'm going to make some little loops to attach this to the garland. Of course, I'm struggling because it's small, so I'm going to get my tweezers. But I'm just making the knot where you take both ends and put it through the loop. I like to make those. I don't know why. I just do. Why do we do the things we do? We don't know. So I do that on all 4 of them. And then I make a long strand of that baker's twine, and on one end of it I wrap a piece of masking tape around it so that I can get that through those beads. And so I do a pattern. I do a medium one, a large one, a medium one. I don't end up using those small beads. And then I put one of the little tags, and then I do the pattern, which I tie a knot. I'm really bad about gauging how much like string or whatever I'm going to need. I ended up tying an extra piece on at the end. I don't know if I don't think I catch that on video, but I'll explain it to you. So I'm going to put a knot on each one of these so they kind of stay put where I want them. So there you go. There's those little ones. And then I'm going to measure from there to there where my next knot will be for the next beads, which these will not stay in place. They're just going to hang and dangle, which is fine. And then, so right there will be my next knot. And then I'll put my beads on, knot after the bead, and then I'll do that again to see where the next beads need to start. I hope that makes sense. If not, you just do it however you want to do it. I mean, everybody has their own taste, and, we all do our DIY videos for inspiration, to inspire you to craft. My husband's cousin sent me a message and was like, "Oh man, you're making me want to get my craft stuff back out and start crafting again." And I said, yay, that's the whole point of me wanting to make these videos. I want you guys to want to get up and make things. Now, if you have no desire to make things and you just like to watch other people make things, then, that's okay too. There you go. Hopefully you're getting the idea of what I'm doing, but, like I said, make it your own. Okay, so now I've gotten it all. I don't know if you can see on one of those where I knotted it, I had to add a piece of string. So now I'm using this beautiful ribbon again that I absolutely love. It's so soft, y'all. I love it. So I'm doing 2 strands longer than the other strands I'm going to make, and I'm going to put one on each end. I don't do a tassel. I'm going to do this instead of a tassel, and I put one of these on each end, and then I do some a little shorter for the in-between. It's going to all make sense in a minute. I'm not explaining it very good. So I put that long one on the other end. And I do this just kind of like a little tie. They look like little ties hanging down. I did a whole curtain in my salon with this method on a string, and oh my goodness, I did it with lots of different strips of fabric, and it turned out so cute. And I have a window in my house that has that on it too. It's so cute. So what I wanted to do was, I tried this and I didn't really like that. But what I wanted to do was put one of those strips on each side of the tags. And if I ever find some more of this ribbon, I'm going to do that. But I ended up not having enough ribbon to do it, so I just put one next to each tag. You're going to see me put one on each side of the tag, a ribbon on each side of the tag. I'm trying to figure out which way I want to do it. Because it does make a difference. If you have, see how that looks like a tie? If you do it the other way, then it's backwards. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe it doesn't matter to you, but I'm a little extra. Okay, so this is kind of the look I wanted. Okay, I'll pull them apart a little bit. Okay, this is the look I wanted. But I didn't have enough. So see how I just have one in between there? I still love it. I think it's great. Let me know what you think. Which was your favorite DIY in this video? Leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And you guys have a blessed day.